Hi, welcome to the 9th episode of Digging with Deb. I just wanted to show you some of the garden upkeep that we have. Now, I'm not going to do all of this today. Today is my first day of vacation with my husband, and it's going to be approximately 90 degrees today, so I'm not going to do quite all of it today, but I will get started on it. Let me show you some things that I have to do today. First thing, I am going to trim or deadhead my flowers. In order to have continual flower bloom, you have to take off the dead flowers or the seed pods. Or if you leave them like over there, do you see that stalk with just a couple of flowers up here? See all these? That's going to be seeds. If I don't take this off, this plant thinks it's done its duty and it'll stop blooming. I don't want that. I want it to continue blooming. So I'm going to cut off that stalk. Plus it's a little leggy and it's sticking up there, so it'll keep my plant bushier too. Also, right beside it, I'm going to cut those off, but I'm going to do that later. I'm just showing you what I'm going to be doing. The next thing is, ta-da! Got some broccoli there. Now, that's a pretty pitiful broccoli plant. If you look at the chart there, do you see how there's holes in the leaves? Yeah, we have Japanese beetles that are pretty common at this time of the year. The next episode, I'm going to show you how to make some homemade bug repellent. And did you see the butterfly go by? Those are butterflies that lay eggs on my coals, which is what this is. So you see my cabbage, they're getting chewed up. So we're going to make something to prevent that. But I'm going to pick my broccoli plant. So I'm going to pick that in a little bit. I am going to be using my kneeling bench here. And you can see that it's very handy. It's got a scratcher there to dig out weeds if I need to. And over on this side, I've got other utensils in the pocket here. Plus, oh my goodness, I love this thing. I love it. I love it. My daughter gave it to me for Christmas. And it's padded, and I can push up on the arms to get up and down. And it's just lovely when I'm doing my work here. Also, I have ready to go my garden trug. So when I find produce that's ready to go, like the broccoli I just mentioned, gonna keep collecting it in my garden trug. And when I get done, I'll have a basket full of stuff, hopefully. So I want to walk around here and show you. Oh, by the way, my husband said I needed to show you this. Look at the lovely mulched bed. Isn't that beautiful? Now, it looks like this bed over here doesn't have anything in it. I seeded that. I was going to put corn in it, but my corn, you can see 2 stalks there, did not germinate like it's supposed to. So this year is a corn bust. However, not everything is a bust. If you look over here, we have all kinds of peppers going on here. Those are the salsa ones. Pretty soon I'll be making salsa. These are the banana peppers, sweet banana peppers. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And then you can see another. I'm going to be deadheading that. But look at my cucumbers. Now, these are replants. If it wasn't for the damage that we had a little earlier this season, I would be having cucumbers already producing. And it would be all the way up on this side of the support. One thing you need to understand about cucumbers, they need a lot of room. Now, I don't have them in a lot of room because I have the supports for them to go on. So, and also it keeps the cucumbers from laying on the wet ground and getting rotty. So you might want to consider something to put your cucumbers on. A fence, get some string or wire and make it yourself. You can buy garden mesh. whatever it takes for you to have a support for your cucumbers, do it. They will surprise you on how much they produce when you have them correctly supported. I have a little green pepper here that I'm going to be picking from my garden a little bit later. You can see blossoms on my eggplants there. Going to be getting eggplants later on this season. Oh, there's a Japanese beetle. Can you see it on the leaf there? I think they're fornicating. Yeah, I'm going to have to pick those off. Now, later on, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff in this bed. I saw the seeds starting to sprout. You can see some little teeny tiny sprouts there. See the two leaves there? That's some probably some radishes, if I remember right. There might be some lettuce in this area. Should be some beets over here, and I see some little, you can see a bundle of leaves there. Not big enough to do anything with, but it's starting to sprout. So I'm starting to get the fruits of my labor. The beets that I do have are looking really nice. They have a nice set of leaves. Oh, nice weed too. And some carrots, not a lot, but there's some carrots for us. I don't have a real good way of storing them and for the winter, so it'll be just carrots that we can use as they get bigger. And if you look over here, look at the tomatoes. They're looking nice. Again, they'd be farther along. I'd be getting tomatoes at this time of the year if it wasn't for the replacement. However, we do have tomatoes in there. We just need to wait for them to get just a little bit bigger and red. So I wanted to show you the butternut squash. Again, ignore the weeds. They will come out. One thing nice about raised beds, you can weed that pretty quickly. But that's my butternut squash. Pretty soon, this thing, it doesn't look like it right now, but pretty soon this thing will be literally all over this bed and in the walkway. That's one of the reasons I mulched the walkway also, so that I don't have weeds that I have to deal with that are fighting my plants. Over here, we got some nice green beans. If you look, I'm going to be picking green beans later. There's some green beans right there. And you can see there's blossoms. So about every couple of days, I'm going to be picking green beans. And one thing about green beans, see that nice weed there? That's pigweed, I believe. They hide just lovely in my beans. So you got to keep at it. But if you look, nice stand of beans. And the kohlrabi starting to get little bulbs chewed up again. So I'm going to have to spray them with my secret weapon that I'm going to be making shortly. And over here, we've already been enjoying the kohlrabi. Didn't say anything about it because you weren't around. I wasn't videotaping. But you see the leaves in there, the dead leaves. That's just the leaves from when I harvested the kohlrabi. Put it back on the ground, let it be recycled into next year's kohlrabi. And I've been getting also my harvesting, although it doesn't look like it here, but I've been harvesting my parsley. So I gave you a little tour of the garden and told you what's going on, and that's an update for today. Also, I will say, walk over here, I have some beautiful ancient apple trees. You can't see it really well, but there's apples on there. Here, let me show you one. Nice apple. You can see the size of it. It's a little smaller than a tennis ball. I don't put anything on my apples. They are 100% organic. I don't trim the tree because it's too old. It would shock it. That thing is probably 30 feet tall, 25 feet tall. And I just have no idea how old it is. We think it may be 200 years old because look at the size of that trunk. It is enormous. I cannot put my arms around it. And the branches, it's just fabulous. We estimate this to be 200 years old, but nobody knows for sure because I'm not going to let them drill through it. But I am going to have a bunch of apples in about a month, 2 months. And I want to learn how to make vinegar. I actually started it with another different set of apples. And so I am going to keep you updated on my vinegar experiment. Right now the vinegar, all you do is put it in, get a jar, fill it half full of apples, or the peelings from apples would do just fine. Put sugar water in, 1 tablespoon of water for one tablespoon of sugar for every 1 cup of water. Again, I'm going to tell you how it works. You fill up your container and let it sit. That's it. That's it. At first, it will make alcohol. Then, if you let it sit, the alcohol will convert into vinegar. So, I'm going to let it sit for about 2 months and find out if the experiment works. So, just letting you know what apples are headed for. It's just so lovely under this tree shade. If you have any questions, you can send messages to me. I will look at it, but there's my garden from this, but that's a plum tree. I have about 3 plums on that thing. It didn't bloom very well, so we're not going to get very many plums. However, it's getting to have some height to it, so eventually we'll get plums enough to eat and store and do stuff with. But right now, this year, no, not so much. But there's my garden, people. And to be honest, it doesn't take that long. The longest part is in the spring, but it does take daily maintenance. So that's something you've got to be aware of when you start your garden. How much time do you have? Are you working full time, or are you like me, a teacher home for the summer? So in the summer, you can work on this. Whatever it is, you decide what you can afford. Again, time-wise, don't do too much to begin with. I did not start out with 10 raised beds. I had 2. And that's what I would recommend. Start out with a couple of raised beds and go from there. Pick out what you like, what you enjoy, and go from there. Now, normally, I will get almost enough corn that I can have. We have as much as we want to eat and then put a little bit aside. I do not have enough corn to supply me and my husband for the full year. You can do that. If I wanted to do that, I would have a few more raised beds to do that. But I don't. I just have it enough to supplement our food. If I wanted to have more broccoli, again, I would have more raised beds. I would grow a bunch, fertilize it, and then process it for this winter. You have to decide what you have. What's your goal? What you can handle time-wise. How much money do you have to put into raising a bed? All of these things. I keep saying these things over and over because different people watch different episodes. But I hope you enjoyed what I did talk about today, and then I will talk more about the natural bug repellent, and that will be the next episode. Thanks for watching today.